Outlander is a Starz original show that falls under the genres of drama, fantasy, and romance. It began airing in 2014 and is still airing new episodes today. It was exceedingly popular when it first started and still maintains its cult following among fans. While it airs originally on Starz, the network releases the new seasons to Netflix, Amazon Video, Hulu, and iTunes. On Netflix, it is available on any of the paid tiers, but it's going to cost you some extra money to watch Outlander on the other streaming services. According to IMDb, the plot of Outlander is as follows: follows the story of Claire Randall, a married combat nurse from 1945 who is mysteriously swept back in time to 1743, where she is immediately thrown into an unknown world in which her life is threatened. When she is forced to marry Jamie Fraser, a chivalrous and romantic young Scottish warrior, a passionate relationship is ignited that tears Claire's heart between two vastly different men into irreconcilable lives. In simpler terms, a young nurse from 1945 is sent back in time to 1743 and enters a life she does not understand. Romance ensues, and she becomes torn between her love from 1945 and her new love in 1743. Two of the main characters' names are Claire Randall and Frank Randall. They are played by Caitriona Balfe and Tobias Menzies, respectively. Some of Balfe's other credits include playing Brianna Sheehan in H+, Jessica Miller in Escape Plan, and Tavra in The Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance. Menzies has played Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh in The Crown, Admiral Tully in Game of Thrones, and James Fitzjames in The Terror, among other titles. Balfe's character in Outlander, Claire Randall, is a married combat nurse from 1945. Her parents died when she was young, and a world-traveling uncle took her in and she spent her young life traveling the world with her uncle. Menzies' character in Outlander, Frank Randall, is an English-born historian in the 20th century. He meets Claire through her uncle when he went to ask him about French philosophy and its connection to Egyptian religious practices. Claire and Frank were married in 1937, and both enlisted in the war effort when World War II began. Frank and Claire become separated for most of the war, but they kept in touch by sending letters. On their second honeymoon, Claire accidentally traveled back in time, and this is when she meets Jamie Fraser. Claire must live life in a time she is unfamiliar with, but she adapts and falls in love with Jamie. Sex scenes are going to be awkward no matter how comfortable you are with the person. People are watching you and cameras are pointed at you. All of this combined makes for awkward situations. Radio Times reports that to help with this, Balfe and Menzies wrote love letters to each other to help gain some intimacy with each other. Now, these weren't love letters to each other. In the show, Claire and Frank wrote love letters to each other during the war. Balfe and Menzies decided to write these letters to help them connect with their characters and each other. Romance ensues, and she becomes torn between her love from 1945 and her new love in 1743. Two of the main characters' names are Claire Randall and Frank Randall. They are played by Caitriona Balfe and Tobias Menzies, respectively. Some of Balfe's other credits include playing Brianna Sheehan in H+, Jessica Miller in Escape Plan,